The syllable rose in my throat like a burning star, ready to carve reality open. But the moment I whispered, "I choose," the name reacted faster than I could finish. The air imploded. Light folded inward. The worlds froze mid-collapse. Time holding its breath as if afraid of what was coming. The syllable drifted from my palm, hovering between me and the two versions of myself. My shadow. Trembling, fractured, desperate. The enemy. Towering, perfect, sovereign. Both leaned forward, hungry for the verdict. But the syllable didn't move toward either of them. It turned toward me. The human. The fragile. The one who remembered mercy. Alaric grabbed my arm. "Elias, no." But the syllable pulsed against my chest, as if recognizing a truth I wasn't ready to admit. The version who needed to die was not my past. Not my shadow. Not the enemy. It was the version of me who believed he could exist between God and man, without consequence. The universe trembled as the syllable pressed harder. It chose me. My skin cracked with golden fissures. Threads of memory. Human moments, mortal softness, peeled away from me like burning paper. I felt myself dissolve. From the outside in. My voice. My heartbeat. The warmth in my chest that Alaric always teased me about. All fading into particles of forgotten light. The shadow watched with wide, greedy eyes. The enemy stood still. Expression unreadable. The seventh lowered its wings. In mourning. Alaric's hand shook as he grabbed my face. "No, look at me. You don't get to disappear. Not like this." His voice kept me tethered. But tethering only made the unraveling hurt more. The third syllable spiraled behind me, drawing out the pieces of my humanity. The way the tide drags sand from beneath a drowning hand. Every fragment it pulled left me emptier, colder, closer to the God I had tried to forget. And still, I did not stop it. Because some part of me believed this was justice. The golden world screamed as my human self unraveled. Mountains collapsing into liquid dawn fire. Towers bending backward as if breaking their own bones. The mortal world convulsed. Skyscrapers twisting, oceans rising in spirals. Cities flickering between ruin and brilliance. Because both worlds were tied to me. And whichever version of me was dying, dragged its world with it. Mortals convulsed in the streets, as celestial memories ripped out of their minds. The newly awakened winged beings lost their radiance, screaming as feathers fell like burning snow. Even the sky bled, splitting into rivers of black gold light. The first herald shouted a warning. If one version dies, the world bound to that version will collapse. Alaric looked from the dying worlds to my fading body. "Elias, stop the syllable, stop it." But I couldn't. Because the name was older than intention. Older than destiny. Older even than the sovereign I had once been. And it had decided which version of me did not deserve to exist. He stepped into the unraveling light. Without hesitation. The name recoiled, shocked that a mortal dared approach. Alaric wrapped his arms around me, as if holding together a collapsing star. His voice broke. "I don't care who you were. I don't care what the worlds want. I choose you. The one who tried to be better." His warmth forced the unraveling to slow. Just slightly. Enough for me to feel pain again. My voice cracked. You shouldn't be here. He pressed his forehead to mine. This reality only exists because you fought to make it kinder. You don't get to die for that. Behind us, the enemy snarled. Pathetic. A god does not need saving by a human. But Alaric didn't look away. You're not a god. You're Elias. The syllable flickered. Conflicted. Because for the first time, someone spoke a truth that even the name hadn't calculated. Identity wasn't cosmic. It was chosen. The sovereign echo stepped forward, his presence bending both worlds into alignment. Let him go, he said softly. Return to me. I will divide the worlds cleanly. Save one, destroy the other. And end this chaos. The offer hung between us, like a blade suspended by a trembling thread. He extended his hand. You don't have to die. Just surrender your human half and reclaim your rightful form. My shadow hissed from the ground. Take the offer, fool. Let the world kneel again. The herald shook his head, trembling. The cost. Elias, the cost. But the enemy wasn't speaking to them. He spoke to the part of me that still remembered the throne's warmth. Come home, he whispered. You were never meant to be half of anything. And for one dangerous heartbeat, I felt myself wanting it. The power, the clarity, the certainty. But then Alaric's grip tightened. Elias, you're stronger than who you were. The power inside me flickered. The enemy's eyes turned cold. So be it, he said. Then you die with the wrong version of yourself. My shadow rose. Shaking, splitting, glowing with cracks of molten hate. You think you created me? It snarled. You think I was born from guilt and fear? The ground shook beneath it. I was created before the first world. Forged by the name itself. Its insurance policy. The enemy's eyes widened. No, that's impossible. The shadow laughed. A sound like broken glass scattering across stone. The name never trusted the sovereign. It always demanded a sacrifice. I was created to be the one who dies in your place. The syllable pulsed violently, reacting to its true vessel. The shadow lifted its head proudly. I am the god who must die. Not him. Light erupted from its chest, as the syllable tried to merge with it. But something was wrong. Something misaligned. Because sacrifice only works if the sacrifice is willing. And my shadow had never once been willing to die. It screamed. A hollow, enraged, terrified sound that cracked the skies. The third syllable flickered. Weakening, destabilizing. Unable to choose between hosts. The name couldn't function if there were multiple contenders for death. So it chose a new strategy. It began erasing itself. The golden letters in the sky shrank into sparks. The fusion world shook. Power drained from every divine being. My shadow convulsed. Light leaking from its throat. The enemy staggered, gripping his chest. Even I felt the syllable dim inside my palm. The herald gasped. The name cannot choose a sacrifice. So it chooses nothing. It erases its own existence. The seventh whispered. And if the name dies, so does the divider. Both worlds screamed. Because without the name, nothing would keep them apart. They would collapse into each other, until neither remained. We were losing the name. And with it, everything. The syllable flickered. One final time. And in that flicker, that dying pulse, I saw the truth unfold inside me like a dawn. The name never wanted a corpse. It wanted a constant. A single version of me. To stabilize creation. Not a death. A decision. I turned to the collapsing worlds. To the dying shadow. The wounded enemy. The trembling herald. And Alaric still gripping my hand. As if refusing to surrender me to fate. I understand, I whispered. Alaric swallowed hard. What do you understand? That I'm not choosing which version dies. I'm choosing which version is real. The worlds froze. Not by force, but in recognition. I lifted the fading syllable to my lips. The shadow wept. The enemy roared. The herald bowed. The seventh covered its face. I breathed the final words of the episode. Let the false one fall. The syllable exploded. Light devoured everything. The name didn't erase me. It revealed which version was never truly alive. When the syllable detonated, the worlds vanished into a light so vast. It felt like standing inside the memory of creation itself. For a breathless moment, I couldn't tell whether I was burning or finally breathing. Then the light thinned. Slowly, painfully. And the truth took shape before my eyes. My shadow was gone. Not destroyed. Unmade. As if the universe finally accepted that it had never been a person. Only a possibility. The enemy knelt in the ruins of golden air, gripping his chest as if something vital had been torn out of him. The strength in his posture was gone. His certainty broken. His divinity fractured. Because only the true version of a god could hold the aftermath of the name. And that version was me. But I wasn't whole. Pieces of divinity clung to me like coals in cooling ash. Glowing, cracking, refusing to fade. Alaric approached cautiously, as if I were still splitting between worlds. Elias, he whispered. Did you choose yourself? Or did the name choose for you? My throat tightened. Because for the first time, I didn't know the answer. The episode ends with one haunting image. The enemy, weakened, raising his head, and whispering in a trembling voice. Not hatred. Not defiance. But fear. If you are the real one, then what am I?